Well, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin Cash today. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. I made an with you guys. I normally tell you when I buy more Bitcoin Cash or when I buy anything, any crypto. I make it very obvious, and I mentioned it in a couple videos yesterday, but I did buy more Bitcoin Cash on the STIP, and I bought some on this day here, probably like right around the day's close, actually, is where I bought some. Just saw it as a good area to DCA. So I hope that answers any questions. If anybody has any fears or doubts in the markets, I'm definitely looking at this as a prime opportunity. I didn't really have any capital available to buy on this dip, but it did come in, a few days later, or a couple days later. So got it in there nonetheless. Bitcoin Cash is looking really good, you guys. I do like, just in classic Bitcoin Cash fashion, man, it gets that slightly lower daily low close, and wouldn't you know that's probably where our major low is going to be. We are still looking for evidence in the charts that this is the low and that we're not going to go lower. Absolutely, we could go lower, and if we look at this for what it's worth, if we look at this relative low to high here in the charts, this fib itself would call for prices down to about 253, 254, I should say, to 216, somewhere in that area. Just with the way that this fib is built out. And right now I would say the odds actually lie with that. So we are looking for evidence that this is the low. The first thing that we would need to see is a close above $344. That would be kind of the first indication that we have found a low and that we might actually not see these extensions come into play. But it is very common whenever breaking below your 618, especially on the first attempt like this, just tearing through it like butter. It's much more common to see these extensions being hit than to not see them be hit. So as far as is this the low or not, I'm comfortable enough with the idea of it being the low that I bought some more yesterday. I'm not waiting or holding my breath, over it for it to go lower. But at the same time, I wouldn't be discouraged or worried if we did happen to go a little bit lower. Now let's draw some lines here at these areas, right? This is the target zone of this if we were to move lower, right? And right now I must say I think I like what we're doing with the price action. Closing above the 886 like this is a nice thing to do. Getting above the 786 would be nice, closing above there, but really closing above the 618 is what we want to see. So until we're above 344 for like 2 days in a row, closing wise, I'm not 100% confident that this is the low, right? But I'm pretty confident it is. Like I would make that call right now that I think that is the low. But again, we could go lower. We might have just a little bit more to go. And if we do go lower, I want to address what that would look like. So let's go, that's our zone there. Let's look back here, and we can see that the lower parts of this range are actually areas that we found support time and time again, even a little bit of resistance back here. A little bit of resistance right there, but not much. And then again, support all the way back here and resistance back here. Support right there on this top line, support right here. Support, resistance, very significant on both these levels actually, and then resistance here as well, just not as well respected as this support line is, but nonetheless, that would be a good area I think to find support. However, taking away the fib and looking at the low itself where it is, we're also finding support at kind of the dominant area of resistance throughout this whole range. Maybe if we went just a little bit lower, that'd be a better fit for it. But again, tomato, whatever. Maybe there's so much attention on this zone right here that it reached for it, but there was a lot of buying pressure and those prices got front ran, so it wasn't able to actually hit those targets. Who knows why? Hopefully we did not hit these targets down here, this target range, just to eventually hit it, in the coming days, coming weeks afterwards. Hopefully we didn't hit it here because there was a lot of buying pressure, or maybe perhaps this was some kind of fake out, whatever the case may be. If this week can close here at $329 or higher, right, somewhere in this area, I think that this is a very, very bullish looking week. And Bitcoin Cash itself loves to find support, loves to move up higher after these weeks with these humongous wicks to the downside, right? And then here, it doesn't look like it's that big of a wick, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, from a closing point down there, that's 13%. If we look at it on a daily basis, I think it was a pretty heavy wicking day. Yes, it was. I don't know. Heavy wick down there, heavy wick right there. much heavier wick this time around. I mean, could we close this week lower? Absolutely we could, but again, you know, the ultimate goal would be to close above like 344, 345, somewhere in that region, above our relative golden ratio from the low to high here. Because again, if we can do that, that will absolve us of going lower. Most likely it would, and not just one day. I'd like to see multiple days closing above there, but let's actually look at the RSI and see what that's kind of saying. You know, from this perspective, I don't like the RSI too much. It does look not bad overall, like in this kind of megaphone shape that it's in. You know, perhaps it is finding a low here, but being below the 40 like this, being in these areas, I don't like that. So I would like to see today, tomorrow, throughout the week, I'd like to see some growth to get us out of these zones, start looking more productive, find support up in this area, stuff like that, right? So not a whole lot going on there. On a 4-hour, I do like the 4-hour. It actually does look a little productive, and with the move that we're getting right now, I think that's pretty obvious to say as well. Let's see how the 4-hour closes. You guys will probably see this by the time this video is done, or by the time you see this video, this candle might be done. From a high to a low, yeah, you're 382, 236 on this fib. Yeah, that looks right, man. I mean, this would call for your next move to be up to 376, and with that, we would probably get a day or multiple days to close above 344. That would solidify this as the low. Getting up here, finding support on these areas, moving higher would also help with the idea that this is the low. So good things are coming. Hopefully either today or, you know, throughout the rest of this week, we're seeing some progressive price action to the upside, because again, immediately speaking, I would like to see us start to climb and get out of these zones of weakness in the daily RSI. The more time that we spend up above the 50, the better. The less time that we spend below the 50, the better. So that's kind of the goal, the main goal besides closing above 344 right now. So I don't really know if I have anything else I want to say. I think I've made it clear what my thoughts are as far as this being the low goes. I am in favor of this, right? I definitely would bet that is the low. I just wouldn't be too surprised if we went lower. There are targets that have been unmet yet at these areas, and they would, you know, they'd be very sensible target areas too. But to be fair, it's completely likely and sensible that this could be the low as well. It's at a pretty relatively significant area in the price already. So, and if it's a fake out, even more so, right? If this were to be some kind of fake out, we'd probably see a rapid recovery out of this, but time will tell. We'll see. I'll keep you guys posted as the days go on. So that's all I got to say. If you like the video, hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thank you all for being here. Take it easy. Bye-bye.